If it's got two wheels, it's small and fast, it must be a mini bike. If you're 6 years of age and dreaming about a career in MotoGP, this is where it all starts. We're at Llandow in South Wales for round one of the FAB-Racing British Mini Bikes Championship. A new era for the FAB-Racing British Mini Bikes Championship. It's now the FAB-Racing British Mini Bikes Championship, and joining me is the new joint sponsor organiser of the championship. It's the managing director of Motorracing. It's Crispin Vittoria. Now, Crispin, tell us a little bit about the championship this year. A few changes we've seen in the paddock. Tell us what's happened so far.
Well, we've made a few changes. We've only just come on board as the sort of joint partner in this series. As you can see behind me, there's a big event centre now with the Bournemouth Kawasaki team down here. We've got some BSP riders coming down as well. And there's a few other bits and pieces, podiums, medals, cups, and a bit more to make it a little bit more professional. But we've got lots of big changes ahead as well.
And looking forward, I guess I know when I spoke to John Thorns last year, John's idea is to try and turn this into effectively a junior version of BSB, isn't it? Moving forward, he wants it to become a more professional event so that the riders have a natural progression from here to BSB and beyond. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. I mean, our 10-year goal is to have British riders at the top of the sport, winning the BSB World Superbikes. We want to push them up there, and we know we've got to start at the grassroots here. We don't want to lose the fun element. It's a great atmosphere in the paddock. There's lots of people having fun and enjoying it, but we want to just up the professionalism a bit and help these riders in their progression by offering more coaching and training and all these sort of the little bits, the media training and things like that, the little bits that will help them when they get to the top of the sport.
And talking of media, we've got Downforce Radio here as well this weekend, so full media package. We've got live internet radio broadcast of all the racing as well, which is very exciting.
Yeah, it is. It's fantastic to have them on board, so all the family members who can't make it down here can listen in live and hear how their family members are doing in the races. But it's also preparing the young riders for their future. You know, it's getting them used to doing interviews like this, and it's upping their stardom levels as they move up the ladder.
Without further ado, let's kick off the FAB-Racing British Mini Bikes Championship in 2016. The AC40 rookies in association with M4 Karting first. Cameron Sewell and Ben Smith on the front row. Alexander Merchant and Mason Foster on the second. Dan Wood and Taylor Stewart Campbell are there on the third, with Luca Hopkins and Max Parrish taking up the rear of the grid. But I'm sure they're going to be fighting their way through if they get an opportunity. Away we go. Good start by Cameron Sewell. Is he going to be able to hold it? Well, everybody else has pretty much been left standing, and it looks as though Cameron Sewell has got an absolute country mile to play with.
Alexander Merchant it was that never got away. It doesn't look like Ben Smith has taken up his grid position, Jake.
No, indeed, it does look like Ben Smith is not near the front anymore. He may well start this race from the pits. Look at the gap that Cameron Sewell has got as they approach the red chair at the second turn. That's a very interesting position of furniture. Maybe a marshal will need to sit down later.
Yeah, not sure that's the best position to leave a chair. If you're the member of the circuit staff, please take note.
Well, one of the more bizarre starts I've seen in FAB-Racing is Cameron Sewell got away, and it was almost as if everybody was like, was that really the start?
Look at the lead. Yeah. This is the first. Look at the lead. That is unbelievable on the first lap. We're talking about Cameron Sewell, who, let's be honest, Jake, we love to see the kids improving. Nobody's improved more than Cameron Sewell. He was a midfield runner last year. Look at this lead on lap one.
Absolutely brilliant. Cameron Sewell getting an absolute country mile over the rest of the field. That is the length of the straight. Absolutely incredible. And then we've got a great battle for second position heating up here.
Alexander Merchant in the red and white suit. He's got 19 on the bike, Jake. He should have number 4. That is a fine, I think, of I think it's £1,500, which of course the organisers have to share with us at the end of the meeting, because we do like a decent Christmas stew, Jake, because I know you like your food.
I really do, yes. So clearly that'll get sorted out in time for the next round of the championship at Red Lodge. Meanwhile, look at Cameron Sewell, number 100, absolutely storming out in front. And this is exactly what he needs to do, really, for his own confidence, his own motivation. He's got a clear track in front of him. He can just ride smoothly and carefully, and he'll be collecting data in his mind all the way through this about resolve, about consistency, and it's really tricky conditions conditions here. Let's not forget, he's really having to work hard out front.
Really difficult conditions. You can see, I mean, it doesn't really show here. It's drizzling slightly. It doesn't show on the cameras, but it is wet. The man on fire then is Cameron Saul out front, the 8-year-old from Calne in Lancashire, only his second season in the championship, and let's be clear, last year we never saw these sorts of performances from him.
Great to see how quickly these guys develop. Even over the winter, he's made a real step forward. Jamie Woodcock there, the young Northwich rider, 17. And let's see if he is able to make an impression on this podium. He's definitely in the fight at the moment. Alexander Merchant, though, second at present. And he's got a nice little advantage, but I have a feeling that the podium is definitely not sorted out yet. That's Josh Kirch, and it looks to me as though he's got a problem potentially, not as fast as we've seen him.
Rookie season, isn't it? So getting used to the bike and the conditions.
Oh no, that's Stuart Campbell. Taylor Stuart Campbell's gone down. Very tricky part of the course when it's wet at the best of times, and he just got caught out.
Disappointing for Taylor. We'll see his brother Bailey later on in the pro race. Well, he's disappointed, isn't he?
Yeah,
got to get back on the bike, though.
He needs to take the positives from that, though. He was in a good position there. He was improving all the time. He's been working all the way through the weekend, and he is coming on quite quickly as young Taylor. So that's going to need a little bit of motivational pep talking, isn't it? Don't worry, at Red Lodge, you can put it all right.
88 going through the picture there, Mason Foster. Here come the marshals to give Taylor some assistance.
Yeah, because he did go down quite hard, if we're honest, Alan, didn't he? It was a big fall, and that will have knocked his confidence.
And he's only 6 years of age, Jake. Let's not forget that.
Yeah.
6-year-old kids, you know, you've got to take that into account as well.
Absolutely, but he did do a good job this weekend. Let's take the positives from that. Hopefully they'll be able to put it all back together in terms of his confidence and resolve in time for round 2. First ever race for Dan Wood, the 12-year-old from Keynsham. He's been a pretty impressive young rider as well, actually. It's not easy to make your debut at a track like this in these conditions. Speaking of these conditions, Ben Smith's dealing with them quite well. He started from the pit lane, but he's definitely not in last place anymore. Look at his riding performance now. He is in and around this 6th, 7th place mark at this moment, so he's making good progress. Now, we need to keep an eye on this one, a rookie for this year, Orlando Phillips. Not a lot has been said about him so far, and he seems to have done okay in his first weekend in the championship, and he's definitely one to watch. But Cameron Sewell, this is an absolute transformation. Last year, he was tentative, as you'd expect of a rookie, just learning, getting used to the bike. Not today, he's absolutely romping away.
Yeah, he's got the Superman leathers on, that's why. He's got his new leathers on. They do look a bit spiffy, don't they, these new leathers? They look very nice indeed. He's put them on and thought, you know what, I'm a world beater.
Absolutely. He's got the Jorge Lorenzo Valentino Rossi look, piped down at the tender age of a school kid. Absolutely brilliant. Into the last lap, and he has absolutely blitzed the field. He's over 30 seconds clear of Alexander Merchant, and look at that, 1:03.93.
4.5 seconds than anybody else in the race. No wonder he's got a huge lead. He's lapped just about everybody in the race. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, the best lap, close to that, is Alexander Merchant and Ben Smith. Those are the only other two riders who have actually ducked below 70 seconds in this race.
Yeah,
and look at it, it's actually started to get worse, the conditions now. You could definitely tell it on that camera. Cameron Sewell, it must be so difficult and tricky when the track is changing all the time, but he automatically, instinctively seems to know exactly where to put the bike here. This is a different rider compared to what we saw last year. Look, he's really attacking the bends here. He's got bags of confidence, this kid. You really wouldn't bet against him to win the championship with this kind of form in round 1.
No, that's Josh Kirch on the 79. Early in his mini bikes career. See, a lot slower than the leader, but that's not the important thing. The important thing, if you're a rookie in the championship at any time, as we see Mason Foster going through the lines, actually finished 3rd. Most important thing, if you're a rookie in this championship, enjoy your racing. Forget about the pace in the early races, just enjoy the track time. That's the most important thing. Top 5 in this one was then Cameron Sewell from Alexander Merchant in 2nd, Mason Foster 3rd. Jamie Woodcock came through for 4th place, with Dan Wood finishing 5th. After the race, I got up with a winner. Conditions were a bit miserable, but you obviously enjoyed them.
I enjoyed them because my first round I ever did was in the wet and I loved it.
All right, and you obviously loved it today. Who do you want to thank for your success this weekend?
My mum, my dad, and a guy who sprayed my bike light blue.
Always got to thank the guy that sprays your bike light blue. Well, 3 races during the weekend. We televised the first one. Cameron won the second one, but DNF'd in race 3 when he led by a mile, so only ended up with 50 points. It's Alexander Merchant that leads the championship from Ben Smith, Cameron in third, Mason Foster, Taylor Stewart Campbell and Josh Kirsch rounding out the top 6 by the end of the weekend. Well, in Mototeam and Pit Bikes 140, a mixed grid, always difficult to film and follow the action. What you need to know is in the Pit Bike 140 race, 5 riders took part. It was basically the 121 bike of Henry Mostrom leading at this stage, who would go on and dominate. He'd go from lights to flag to take the win in worsening conditions. Just look at the rain, 40-mile-an-hour gusts of wind as well. Now in Mototeam you can have more than one rider. Now this weekend the 33 bike, the championship winning bike last year for SFC Racing, ridden last year by Sam Clowes, is being ridden this weekend by his dad Simon, who's just turned up to try and score Sam some points so he can stay in the championship hunt. Now I don't quite understand what Sam Clowes is thinking. He's working this weekend when he could be having fun on 2 wheels. That's an absolute disgrace. Anyway, at this stage, the 19 bike going through the picture is Tony Campana, just ahead of the 33 bike ridden by Simon Clowes. There's the 8 bike going through the shot, that's Keith Bolton, who at this stage is well behind Clowes. Now Campana would fall away, and in the latter stages of the race in Mototeam, it would be Keith Bolton, as we see here, on the blue bike, who takes up the running in the Mototeam race. Mostrom would go on to win the Pit Bike 140 class. You see him here getting the last lap board, and there's the 8 bike of Bolton just in front of Simon Clowes going into the last lap. Well, here's Mostrom through the final turn. He would take a very comfortable win indeed. But who would take the win in the Mototeam race? Well, as they come to the line, few back markers in front, but there's Simon Clowes celebrating on the 33, keeping his son in contention for the championship. Bolton would end up second, Steve Ball third, Mark Pollitt and Tony Campana, who led early on, in 5th place. However, that's not the full story, because in the second race of the weekend, Simon would DNF and then come 6th in race 3 to give his team a total score of only 35 points. It's Steve Ball that leads from Tony Campana and Fraser Kinnaird, but after an early promising start, stop working Sam Clowes and start playing.